Okay, before we get across to Mahantesh Sabarath and get in his fundamental take on the markets as well, here's an exclusive interview with Paul Hermelin, the chairman and CEO at Capgemini Group. He's spoken about the fight for digital pie versus Indian players like TCS, the resurgence in the BFSI segment demand and benefits of iGate acquisition and the impact on US growth with my colleague Ashwin Mohan.
What I call digital is when we deliver technology work for the business. It's no longer driven by the IT department and the chief information officer, but it's technology when bought and delivered within the business. This is growing fast, far more than the IT spend of the CIO. In the Capgemini case, we are far above the percentage you mentioned, since we are at 42%. And we have used our consulting forces to position the group with the business. 42%, they grow at 20%, so that's why the group enjoys a good pace and a good momentum. But it means that where we need to re-educate our people...
there's been a sluggish environment there in the BFSI sector. I believe currently insurance seems to have seen an uptick, and this year could be a very important year as far as the banking segment is concerned. What's the Capgemini view on demand from the BFSI sector?
You're right to say we see insurance company coming back with new project, new investment. In banks, I think the same will happen because of the fintech pressure, blockchain, and what I would just say, the digitalization of all back office operations. So the world of digital in bank would be what I would call digital service operation. That will take a bigger and bigger share. Banks are hungry for innovation. The competitive pressure is on them. So let's take advantage of that wave and of that appetite for innovation.
All right. We started by speaking about how bullish you are on the Indian market, and let's talk about your biggest bet yet, which is, of course, the iGate acquisition. When the iGate acquisition was announced, there were a few concerns regarding integration issues. Tell us, how has the acquisition settled down, and what's been the contribution and benefits so far in terms of market share?
So the first point is when we bought iGate, July 15, it's now nearly 3 years ago, we saw it as a net addition of more than 250 new accounts. First, we managed to keep all of them with one exception, I think. And there were concerns at the end of 16, so a little more than 12 months, because in the US, we had possibly a little bit of internal attention. And in the fourth quarter, I think we eroded the top line by 3%. Though the group is going full speed in the US, the first quarter of 18 saw a growth of 14.8, nearly 15%. So clearly the US are back on track and growing. And my view, one deal, which was a McDonald's deal. McDonald's was a small client of iGate. We didn't